Good morning, BSC. Say good morning, BSC.
Good morning, BSC.
This is Asher. And in honor of National Read Aloud Day, we're going to read Grace for President. Say Grace for President.
Grace for President. A.
Yeah, that's an A and an R. Okay, you ready?
S.
Okay, you have to listen.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Grace for President. On Monday morning in September, Mrs. Barrington rolled out a big poster with all of the president's pictures on it. Grace Campbell could not believe her eyes. Where are the girls?
What's girl?
So here's Grace. And there's the president.
But where the girls?
I know. She said, where are the girls? There's no girl president.
But he just looked at the picture.
Okay. That is a very good question, said Mrs. Barrington. The truth is, our country has never had a woman president. No girl president? Ever? Grace asked. No, I'm afraid not, said Mrs. Barrington.
Rainbow pants.
Grace sat at her desk and stewed. She stewed. Look at that.
Ooh.
No girls? Whoever heard of such a thing like that? Finally, she raised her hand.
I like a rainbow girl.
Look at Grace.
Ooh.
She stewed.
Ooh,
She's
rainbow
mad.
gray. Ooh. He's rainbow. Sorry.
Yes, Grace, I've been thinking it over, and I like to be president. Several students in the class laughed. You can't be president. Well, I think that's a star-spangled idea, Grace, said Mrs. Barrington. In fact, we can have our very own election right here at Woodrow Wilson Elementary. Woodrow Wilson used to be a president. The snickering in the room stopped. Grace smiled. Would anyone else like to run for president? Mrs. Barrington asked the class. Nobody raised their hand. Becoming president was going to be easy, Grace thought.
Was this one? Did not raise their hand?
No, they did not raise their hand.
Who raised their hand?
Okay, you ready to listen?
Yeah.
Okay. The next day, Mrs. Barrington made an announcement. In the name of democracy, I have invited Mr. Waller's class to join our election. Their class has nominated Thomas Cobb to be their presidential candidate. Grace's heart sank. Thomas was the school's spelling bee champion. His experiments always took a blue ribbon at the science fair,
Daddy.
and he was captain of the soccer team.
Soccer.
Becoming president wasn't going to be easy after all, Grace thought.
Soccer. Red shoes.
There's Thomas,
Thomas.
her new opponent.
Ooh,
And there's Thomas soccer, his science fair, and spelling bee. And look at Grace. She's nervous.
Nervous?
Yes.
Why is nervous?
The teachers put the names of all 50 states and the District of Columbia into a hat. Everyone except for Grace and Thomas got to choose a state. I'm Texas, said Anthony. I'm New Hampshire, said Rose.
Anthony?
There's Anthony. I'm Michigan, said Robbie. What does the number 17 mean?
Where's Robbie?
Robbie's right there. Each state is assigned a number of electoral votes. That number is determined by how many people live in that state, said Mrs. Barrington. Each of you will represent your state. Although our country has 538 electoral votes, Mr. Wallers explained, on election day, the candidates who receive 270 electoral votes or more wins the election. Why 270? Asked Rose. That's more than half of all the electoral votes, Mr. Waller said. Becoming president really wasn't going to be easy, Grace thought. See, Grace, she's nervous.
Nervous?
Yes.
What's nervous?
Grace came up with a campaign slogan: Make history, vote. Make history. Vote Grace Campbell for president. Thomas came up with his own campaign slogan: Vote for Thomas Cobb, the best man for the job.
Where?
Ooh, look how why is man so bolded? Can anybody think about why is man so bolded and big? I want to infer something. Grace listened to what issues were important to the students, and she made a list of campaign promises. A peaceful school, no bullies. A cleaner school, no littering. Better hot lunches, no more fish tacos. Thomas made up his own promises. Free tutoring, free soccer lesson, fish stick tacos every week. Grace made campaign posters and buttons. Thomas made posters and buttons too. It's not the end yet, almost. Each week, the teachers set aside time for candidates to meet their constituents. Polls were taken. Voters were making their choices. Oh, look at them. They're meeting with their constituents, the people that support them, and look at all the signs that they made. Some of the signs they made is
Look at this.
Make history. Vote Grace for president. Grace for president. Thomas is the man. Thomas can do the job. You can't go wrong with Thomas Cobb on the job.
Number 5.
Grace continued to campaign. At recess, she gave speeches. During lunch, she handed out free cupcakes. After school, she held rallies.
Where's cupcakes?
See the cupcakes?
Where?
See the cupcakes right there.
Cupcakes?
Meanwhile, Thomas wasn't worried. He had cleverly calculated the boys and slightly more electoral votes than the girls. At recess, Thomas studied spelling words. During lunch, he worked on his last science experiment. After school, he played soccer. Even before the election, Grace made good on her promises. She joined the safety squad, she organized a school beautification committee, and she volunteered her time in the cafeteria. Ooh, she's tired. Look at her. She's doing all that already before she's even president. And she's tired. Look at that. She is very tired. Doesn't she look tired? She's pooped. Special election. In early November, Woodrow Wilson Elementary hosted a special election assembly. Grace and Thomas took their places on stage as school band began to play. Henry was the first representative to approach the microphone. The Yellowhammer state of Alabama cast its 9 votes for Thomas Cobb. Fletcher said, the last frontier state of Alaska cast its 3 electoral votes for the best man for the job, Thomas Cobb. Hannah called out, the Grand Canyon state of Arizona cast its 10 electoral votes for Grace Campbell. And so it went. State after state cast their electoral votes. The scoreboard in the gymnasium kept track of all the totals. Almost. Oh, what do you think is going to happen? The voting demonstration was quickly coming to an end. Clara approached the podium. The Badger state of Wisconsin cast its electoral votes. It's 10 electoral votes for my best friend, Grace Campbell.
Stuck, Daddy.
Grace looked at the scoreboard. Thomas had 268 electoral votes. She had 267. There was only one state still unaccounted for, and that is the state of Wyoming.
Is it eating?
Thomas grinned. Grace felt sick. Sam walked up to the microphone. He looked at Thomas. He looked at Grace. He looked down at Grace's handmade flag. Sam didn't say a word. What are you waiting for? Thomas whispered. The band stopped playing. All eyes were on Wyoming. Finally, Sam cleared his throat. The equality state of Wyoming cast its 3 electoral votes for Grace Campbell. Grace Campbell. The gymnasium erupted in loud cheers and a few boos. Miss Barrington approached the podium. With 270 electoral votes, the winner is Grace Campbell. Thomas looked stunned. Grace hugged Sam and asked, "Why did you vote? Why did you do it?" She asked. Sam handed Grace his flag. "Because," he said, "I thought you were the best person for the job."
Is that the end?
Almost. The following week, the students in Miss Barrington's class were preparing for their career day presentation. Grace volunteered to go first. She stood at the front of the room and glanced at the poster still hanging on the wall. "My name is Grace Campbell, and when I grow up, I'm going to be President of the United States." This time, everyone believed that she would. There she is at Career Day, saying that she is going to be President of the United States one day.
I can't see when you look in the picture.
See? Look at the picture, see? That's Grace.
I'm stuck.
The end. Look at her. She is President of the United States.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool, right? Well, boys and girls, we hope you enjoy this read aloud, Grace for President. And I hope you say bye.
Bye.
Enjoy. Say bye, Bobcats.
Bye, bye, cats.